You're watching Must Do Travels, and this is our top 10 things to do in Prague. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and click the bell next to it to receive notifications on when we publish more videos like these. You can also sign up on our website at www.mustdotravels.com to book your own adventures, and join our club to get the best deals on travel to anywhere in the world. Now let's get started. Prague is the capital city of the Czech Republic and has been a major metropolitan city for many centuries under the rule of various empires. It was originally settled during the era of the Roman Empire and has since grown in size and influence. Prague was especially prominent during the Renaissance period, whose vibes still seem to resonate throughout the region today. Despite rampant destruction all across Europe during both world wars, Prague was fortunate enough to be one of the few major metropolitan areas to remain virtually untouched. Because of that, the many cultural, political, and religious landmarks of its past still remain intact today. Because there's just so much to do in Prague, it frequently tops the lists of best places to visit around the world, and here's our top 10 list of things to do, which are ranked in no particular order of importance. First up is to visit Prague's Old Town Square. The Old Town Square was erected during the 1300s and has been improved upon over the centuries. Even during the 1400s, which were towards the end of the Dark Ages, the city managed to flourish. If you happen to visit during Christmas or Easter time, the square is typically packed with delightful medieval-style markets, which are popular places for locals and tourists to mingle. While in Old Town Square, check out the next attraction on our list, which is the Astronomical Clock. The Prague Astronomical Clock, officially called the Horloge, is located in the Old Town Square on the Old Town Hall. In addition to being a beautiful way of telling time, the clock's face also contains special dials and hands to track the location of the sun, moon, zodiac, and other astronomical details. Legend has it that if the people of Prague always take care of the clock and never neglect it, that the city will not suffer. Perhaps that superstition has been what's kept the city mostly untouched over the course of its history. For more than 600 years, this clock has told time, but not without its periods of ups and downs. To step away from the Old Town Square, you'll cross the Charles Bridge, which is a long pedestrian bridge that spans the Vltava River and takes you from both sides of Prague. It was constructed originally during the 1300s while King Charles IV ruled the area. The bridge itself is an architectural masterpiece that has weathered the centuries quite well. Its interesting construction was designed not only to survive the inevitable floods that destroyed its predecessors, but it also has noticeable wedges that are designed to break up and divert large sheets of ice that would otherwise flow downstream during the winters and damage the bridge. This is a great place to take photos and videos, as well as get in your steps as you cross a bridge that countless millions have done over the last 700 years. On the other side of town, you'll find yourself in Malá Strana, which loosely translates to the little side, or small town, simply because it's the smaller part of the city that's on the other side of the river from its larger counterpart. Traditionally, it's been the home of people from Germanic descent, while the other larger side is predominantly people of Bohemian descent. There are lots of great palaces to check out on this side of town, which makes it a great place to get your stroll on or to book a guided tour. While you're here, make sure to check out the St. Nicholas Church. After all, it's pretty doubtful that you could miss it. Unlike the other Gothic churches that you might more typically see, this church was built in the Baroque style. With a green domed roof and floor-to-ceiling frescoes, it's a living work of art. Another popular place to hang out in Prague is Wenceslas Square, which represents the new town of Prague as opposed to the previously mentioned Old Town Square. This square takes its name from the good King Wenceslas, who was instrumental at converting many of the Czechs to Christianity during the Middle Ages. Quite possibly the largest tourist attraction in all of Prague is the Prague Castle. Being more than 1,000 years old, the Prague Castle is a complex of many structures that is officially the offices of the government of the Czech Republic. Prague Castle also holds the Guinness Book of Records title as being the largest ancient castle in the world, with a floor plan of roughly 750,000 square feet. While you're here, be sure to check out the scheduled times for the changing of the guard. Much like the famous British tradition at Buckingham Palace, Prague Castle has a noteworthy ceremony that takes place at the change of each shift. If you're looking to unwind in Prague, we've got some choices for you. You can either climb to the top of Petra Hill, which is located in the center of the city, and gives you a panoramic view of the skyline and the city's reddish roofs. There are lots of walking paths and parks surrounding the hill's peak, so it's a great place to catch some fresh air and relax a little bit. The hill gets its name from the Latin word petra, which means stone, supposedly because it was covered in large rocks many years ago. It's presumed that over the years the rocks were removed and used to build the city during the medieval period. Another popular way to relax is to cruise up or down the Vltava River. There are lots of sightseeing ships that frequently sail up and down the river in the center of Prague. Some of them offer dining services where you can have lunch, dinner, or maybe just a dessert while you take a 1 to 2 hour tour on the city's waterfront, and the cost is often very affordable, typically costing less than $20 per person. If the bigger ships with all their crowds are not really your thing, you can opt for a more private experience on the water. With the smaller boats or even the more traditional mahogany boats, the price will go up considerably for these private tours, but it's not overly expensive considering the value of what you get at just a couple $100s. Last but not least would be to hang out in one of the beer gardens in Prague. If you're into beer, Prague is one of the best places on earth to grab some, and here the beer flows like water. People can be fanatical about their beer, and beer gardens are frequently a sight all about town. There are even times of year where large festivities are held. You could even book some time in a beer spa and take a bath in beer while you drink some beer, so it's kind of like the inception of Pilsners. Since it's part of the city's culture, you would be remiss not to humor them by partaking in a pint or two. After all, they come in pints, right? This has been another Must Do Travels adventure, and if you like more adventures like this, be sure to subscribe and check out our other videos linked below. And sign up on our site to book your very own adventures all around the world at www.mustdotravels.com. See you guys next time.